Hello, and welcome back to the Dungeons & Dragons podcast UK. My name is Yasmin, and I will be the DM.
Hi, my name's Spencer. I play Caddo Chasseur, a cleric from Gavany, who has a pet dog called Pickle.
Hi, my name is Samantha. I play Laura Greyvale, and she is a sorceress from the province of Nephalia.
Hello, I'm Colin, and I play Cuin de Greymont, a paladin from Thraben in the province of Gavany.
Hi, I'm Ryan. I play Ogvar Shorefort, a goat-herding, mushroom-seeking ranger from Kessig.
Parted company with their clerical companion at Selhof's city southern gate and headed the horses toward the halfway settlement of Stagwick on their journey toward Jenrick's tower. Cuin took charge, carefully checking a bridge crossing, while Ogvar put in a sterling shift driving the wagon. Camping out did not tick Alora's box for creature comforts, but regardless, her witching hour watch passed without a whiff of trouble, with only the horses' whickers breaking the silence. Next morning, Esther constructed the canvas cover over the cart just in time to keep them dry, and Alora experienced the arrogance of equines by failing to get to grips with a gelding. However, Ogvar's aura must have been more amenable, as it was more like putty in his palms. Sometime later on the trail, the companions were given considerable cause for concern as a dirty, dishevelled and desperately distressed child appeared. Ivona's tale of terror was told in a way only a child can, and the team were compelled to help. After an aerial search of the surroundings, Ogvar's now very angry avian sidekick returned, advising our adventurers of his findings. Episode 101, Tracing the Trail.
We may have a potential location, and Ivy here said she's only been running for today, so she hasn't been out overnight yet, so we can assume we're not too far away.
Well, I think we'd better go and check that out. We can't ignore it, can we?
Quite not.
No,
Right.
no,
Well, somebody's going to need to stay here with the carriage, and going to need to leave at least a couple of us here, I think.
well, there's only 4 of us, so...
Yeah. What do you want to do, guys?
Well, the best person out of character, the best person to stay with us is Esther. We've all got the general idea that it's a vampire, and that's what she used to deal with. So if anyone knows anything, what?
No, it's fine. I'm just wondering where you've
Yeah,
got the
so
ideas
we-
of vampire.
I never knew vampires smell like fish.
Hanging from the ceiling?
Oh, I see where he's coming
Yeah,
from.
yeah.
I was thinking, right.
Depends if he's upside down or right way up, and if there's rope attached to him.
Ah,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
well, I didn't. There was no.
It's
rope
interesting, that, isn't it?
Well, we know that there's a vampire around.
Well, there are
Oh,
vampires
very good.
everywhere,
They
aren't
are commonplace. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay then. Well, in that case, look, we're gonna have to leave. We're gonna have to leave the little girl here, so Esther can look after the little girl.
Let's RP this out, I think. Cuin, do you want me to come with you? And we'll leave Ogvar and Esther here for now, and then maybe if Ogvar sends Murdoch to watch over us, if we need to get him, we could get Murdoch to come back and get him, maybe.
Well, I see
Or I
no
could
reason.
send Rowan, but it's a little unpredictable, so I'd rather use Murdoch at this point.
Oh, we're still some way from the cave. I see no reason why we can't. If we can get the wagon a little closer, we'd all go. There's no. Well, Ivona said she's been running for the best part of a day. there's no point calling for help if I'm 2 hours away.
Well, I don't know how far the cave is. The cave can't be that. I mean,
Should we go and scout it first?
well, let's find out where it is.
If I may, dearie, why don't you leave Ivona in my care? I am more than capable of looking after the horses, wagon and child. And why don't the three of you go together? I highly doubt that we'll be able to get the wagon through that brush. It looks quite dense to me, doesn't it, Ogvar? It looks quite dense.
Well, I don't think the wagon's going to go off track. I mean, the wagon's going to have to stay here. Okay, yeah, Esther, that will do.
Yes, well, why don't you take... We have saddles, don't we? Why don't you take a horse each?
I suppose we could.
Yeah, I guess we could. Okay, fine. Alora's going to start unhitching the horses.
And Kieran's going to go, I'm not having that road.
Okay. So, you're unhitching the
road.
horses.
The road.
Each of you...
The dun. The one you had.
Oh, the dun. That's
dun.
The dun. Okay. So, pick out your horses. Roan, bay, dun or skewbald.
Ogvar will take the roan which he saddled up, hitched up at the beginning of the day.
Kieran will take the bay.
Okay.
Keep leaving the dun well alone.
Yeah, I think Alora would take the skewbald because it did calm down for her eventually. So she's going to shuffle round, bring the horses round to certainly start bringing the horses round to the back of the wagon and start tacking them up.
Yeah. Okay, you're able to tack them up, get them tacked up. Esther's keeping Ivona busy, showing her how to play probably some variation of kind of cat's cradle with the bit of wool that Esther's got. She's just keeping her busy, keeping her, her mind off things. Ogvar, you have your raven statue back.
Oh, do I? Okay.
Yes.
I was going to leave it with her.
Oh no, if you want to leave it with her, that's absolutely fine. Yeah, you can leave it with her.
So I would like to, before I go talk to Ivona and say, no, the three of us are going to go off and try and find your brother, and you'll keep hold of the raven, because I'll be taking Murdoch with me. But if you do need me when I'm gone, this raven has a little trick up its sleeve. You can send me a message from it if you wish. If you feel you need us, just no hesitation to use it.
She looks up at you and she gives you a big hug, squeezing you as hard as her frail little arms can manage. And then she just kind of buries herself back into Esther's lap and continues playing this form of cat's cradle, whatever this kind of game is. Okay, so yeah, you saddle the horses up, you mount up.
Sorry, Alora's going to put her backpack, she's going to hitch it to the side of the saddle.
Yeah. Okay. So, Kieran, Ogvar, you hitching your backpacks, or you leaving them?
Yeah, Ogvar will take his, yeah.
Yeah, just in case.
Yep.
Healing kit and stuff.
Okay. And are you taking Orland with you as well?
I assume so, because I'm wearing him, so yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you mount up and off you go. Everyone make me a ride check, I believe it is.
Oh, okay. Ride check. That'll be a first.
Oh, that's going to go straight there.
Oh, that'll be a 22 all in for Alora.
12 for Ogvar.
Yep, okay.
5 for Kieran.
Okay.
I knew I shouldn't have had that charging smite and had my own magical steed. I wouldn't have had the problem then.
Okay, so Elora, on your skewbald, the skewbald is very docile. It's not lazy, but it's very docile, very compliant. You give it a bit of a nudge, and it's just happy to start plodding off, and it's pretty solid pony. Ogvar on the roan, you're quite happily seated, and you kick off, you begin your way, and it's a little bit frisky under saddle. You perhaps have a little trouble balancing Orland with you. Orland is quite insistent that he's going to sit on front on the pommel in front with you. You're trying to juggle bag, horse, and raven, and the writing desk as well. You're perfectly fine. You're just perhaps a little. You have the occasional kind of moment where you're like, I think I'm going to fall off. Kieran, as you get on the bay, you give it a good hard kick to G it up, and the horse goes, leaving you on a pile in the ground.
What was that?
It doesn't go far. It's just shot forward. It's scooted forwards, and Kieran, you've just been left deposited on the floor.
Well, Laura's going to look over her shoulder and go, "What, Kieran? What's keeping you? Come on, get up. We've got to go somewhere. Get on your horse. What are you playing at?"
Oh, right, okay. Maybe I kicked it a little too hard. I don't know my own strength here, so
marvellous.
I'll try again. So, climb back on.
Let's hope it's forgiving.
Yeah, you climb back on, and you're able to settle down.
With an apple. Kieran gets an apple.
Yeah, you're able to get back onto it. You give it the apple. It begrudgingly accepts the apple, bites your finger a little as it does, and it's quite reluctant, but you get back on it, and it pretty quickly it forgives you and forgets.
To say I've got the gall.
And
the
you
gall
are-
it's on, so it probably hurt its teeth.
It probably did, yeah. But anyway, you're back on the horse, and the pony is following along. Okay, so I take it you're probably going to ride in the general direction that Ivona came from.
Yeah, I think Laura would go up front because her horse is obviously a bit more steady, and she would perhaps think, hopefully, it would set an example for the others to follow.
Yep, okay. So you begin to make your way through the brush and these fir trees, and you have to duck and dodge at some points because these boughs are quite low. Ogvar, from your shoulder, Murdoch takes flight, and he flitters ahead of you, only going maybe 30 foot ahead at a time, landing on a branch, waiting for you to catch up, taking flight again and going the same. So he leads you on. Are you continuing to walk, or are you picking up the pace? What kind of pace are you travelling at here?
I think Allura would be actually moving on. She's not going to trot, but she'd be moving on at a decent walk.
Yeah. Me as Ryan, I don't have any idea of horse speed. So
Allura would be like, "Come on, boy, let's go."
Kieran will just be trying to keep up.
Okay. So you carry on at a brisk walk, and it was probably about 12 o'clock when you actually set off. When you set off on horseback. So the hours pass by, and you aren't seeing any sight of a cave. However, Ogvar, all of you make me a survival check.
That's a natural 20 with
very nice.
3.
Well, considering Allura has a -1 to that check, she's still got a 15.
17 for Ogvar.
Nice.
17, nice. Okay. So the rain eases off mid-afternoon. It's still very overcast, very cloudy, but you're now travelling through underneath these fir trees, and you are getting big fat droplets of water slipping off, landing on your head, your back, slipping uncomfortably down your neck into the back of your armour queuing. And the ground is quite soft, it's quite muddy. And as you're going along, you can all see traces of Ivona's mad dash through the woods. You can see the occasional scuffle, disruption of slightly soft earth, where you can see almost toe marks where her toes have dug in, she's tripped, her knees have hit the ground, her hands have clawed as she's scrambled back up. You can see the occasional odd broken branch, broken twig, probably more prominent to you. Ogvar, being a man of the woods, you probably see these broken twigs more prominently. And to Laura, you actually catch sight of the occasional smear of blood, perhaps from a hand where she's brushed up against a tree. And you all see kind of, the odd occasional scrap of clothing which is being caught in the gorse and in the bramble.
I think she came this way. There seems to be a bit of debris, some broken branches. I'm not a man of the woods, Ogvar. You'd be able to tell more than me, but I can see traces of where looks like someone's been through. There's the odd trace of blood as well.
Oh yes, I see that. And Kewin seems to have his sights locked in on this one. So I think we're all in no doubt that we're going the correct way.
So yeah, you can all clearly see that this is obviously a very clear path that you can see Ivona's flight through the woods. And obviously she's quite short, she's quite small, so all of this kind of debris and detritus is all obviously kind of like at a low level. It's near the ground. You actually come across a little brook, and it's got quite steep banks. It's like a deep cut brook which is running through the woods, to the point where you will actually have to jump it with your horses to cover. But you can see where Ivona's kind of made a leap for it, and you can imagine she's kind of crashed into the other side, kind of face first, chest first onto the ground, and there's a big disturbance of dirt where she's just bodily flung herself over this what would be to her obviously a massive kind of canyon. And you are going to have to jump this to clear it with the horses. So you can all make me ride checks.
Okay. Okay, so that would be a 10 all in from Alora.
19 for Kewin.
16 for Ogvar.
16 for Ogvar. Okay. So, Elora, with the 10, you were able to make it over this grab. You turn the horse around, give it a bit of a run up, give it a bit of a G up, and it's quite reluctant. You think it's going to dig its heels in, but you give it a bit of a kick and it makes it over. You're slightly unseated, but you're fine. Ogvar, similarly, you take a bit of a run up, your roan happily pops over it, and Kewin, your bay, as you turn it around in a circle to line it up, it grabs the bit between its teeth and launches itself forward, and it throws itself over this gap. Almost, you might say, in an attempt to unseat you in revenge, which it failed. You managed to stay on.
Alora, when she's reached the other side of this, Alora would, as she's riding along, continuing along, I think she would cast mage armour on herself. So she's going to sort of slight hand movement and just cast mage armour on herself. Quietly, but she's just going to do that as she's going.
And Kewin is going to cast Wanderer's. So, right then, you two. I've got this little extra just in case we come over any vampires, undead or werewolves, because we heard some very nasty rumours. So
Laura's just going to twist round in her seat and look at Kewin and intently as he's talking.
And cast Wanderer's Ward on you. It'll give you if you've got it'll give you that little bit of boost, just in case you get attacked.
Oh, a little bit of protection.
Yes, only once, but
thank you, Kewin.
It
That's
lasts
really helpful.
6 hours, so
Fantastic. That's great. Thank you, Kewin.
Thank you.
Much appreciated.
Tingly.
Indeed. Yeah, it is.
Okay. So you've probably been travelling for 2 hours now. Obviously 2 hours on horseback, so you would have covered a lot more ground than little Ivona would have on her feet. And overhead, Murdoch circles. He goes, not far. As crow flies, not far.
Hey guys, I think we're getting close to our location. Are we staying on the horses, or are we...
Let's just... We'll go a little bit steadier.
Okay.
So, Alora's going to go, whoa, steady, lad. And she's just going to slow the horse ever so slightly and make a bit more of a slower progress. She's still moving forward, but just making slower progress, going more steady.
Okay. So it's probably another hour when you begin to notice, all of you, that the trees are starting to thin. And ahead of you, you can see, in the very front row of trees, you can see a hole low down in the brush growth, which you would assume that Ivona has scrambled through. It's very much just kind of the branches being pushed back, they're broken. It very much looks like Ivona's run through this line of trees. And as you get closer, you can see in front of you a clearing. This clearing is probably about 30 foot in diameter, and directly opposite you, in a sharp outcrop of this red sandstony rock, you can see the gaping maw of a cave.
Laura's going to hold her hand up and just halt. She's just going to pull on the reins and just go, whoa, stand. Guys. She's going to turn the horse around to face the other two. There's the mouth of a cave just over there. So we've reached our destination. What do you want to do from here? She's going to... Do you want me to try and send Rowan in?
Yes, that's...
Shall I try it?
Yes.
Right, she's going to... Is Rowan, I'm assuming he's gone back onto her side or somewhere, or is he still flitting around?
No, so he is on your side. He's
Right,
in
she's
his
gonna-
little house.
Put her hand in and pull him out of the little house, and she's going to hold her hand up, him hanging off it, and say, Rowan, there comes a time when I need you to do a job. This is a serious situation. We need answers. We need you to step up now. Okay? I want you to go into the cave. I want you to go and find out what is in there. And I'd like you to come back and tell me what is going on. Have a good search. Don't get caught. Off you go, please. This is really important. And she's going to send him off.
Do you kind of rip him like a Beyblade and just...
Yeah, she's just going to give him a flick and let him go. She's going to flick her hand and let him go.
Sling,
He's pretty agile, isn't he? He's a bat.
As agile as a bat.
like a pokeball, just
Yeah.
pitch him.
Yeah, he can just go.
Okay, so you release Rowan, and you see him make a very meandering path towards the mouth of the cave. It very much resembles the old cartoon of when someone isn't supposed to be there and they just kind of walk around and do. It's very much that, you get that very much that kind of feeling from it. Like he's blending in, he's stealthing, and he's just kind of making these odd little meanders and like, oh, I'm totally not going towards the mouth of the cave kind of thing. And yeah, he disappears into the dark. What are you doing while Rowan's busy?
I think Ogvar will get down off his horse and start preparing himself to go in, really, yep.
I think Allura would follow suit. Seat? I think Allura would follow suit. She's just going to dismount and again find somewhere under cover, maybe a little bit of behind some cover to tether the horse.
Kieran will get
Kieran?
down and he'll go have one of those. Oh yes, and he's going to pull out of his backpack a potion of dark vision, and he's going to hand it to Ogvar.
Oh, okay.
Right, because
Okay.
just in case it's dark in there, because I can, if I set off my celestial skin for a brief time, I do have dark vision.
Okay.
Okay.
And
Thank
then
you very much.
we're going to tie up the horses. Are we going to tie up the horses just out the way?
Yeah, let's just put them behind thicket or some thick areas of trees or something. Let's see if we can just hide them. Are there any? Is there anything that where we can pull a bit of brush or some gorse bushes, somewhere that we can put the horses round behind?
You are mostly
Oh, okay.
concealed where you are. You are still within. So this clearing in front of you, 30 foot in diameter. So it's 30 foot away to the front of the cave from the tree line, but you are still behind the tree line.
Okay, well, she's going to look on the floor and just see if there are any other tracks. If there's no regularly used path, obvious track, then she's just going... Yeah, okay. In that case, she will just tether the horse behind some trees or a thicket or something.
Yeah, you're able to find like a decent sturdy branch and you're able to just kind of flip the reins over and tether them up. Yeah, okay. So it's actually only about 10-15 minutes before Rowan returns. So Rowan returns and he flits over to you and he's doing that thing again of very much like, oh, I'm totally not sneaking out of somewhere I shouldn't have been, kind of do, wander through the air, oh look, what's that over there, oh, I'm going back now, kind of thing. And he comes back to you and he perches upside down hanging off a branch in front of your face. And he's quite a plump bat and it's not a very strong branch, so the branch kind of dips and bounces back slightly.
What gives Rowan?
And he's now upside down at eye level
Rowan.
with you.
What gives? What's in there?
Mead!
What?
Mead!
Mead? There's mead in there? What is it, a brewery?
He gives what you would assume is the equivalent of a bat huff. It's this very kind of sound. And I can't do Rowan's voice, so Rowan will tell you that there was one room, big room, rectangular kind of room. And he'll basically tell you that there were people in there and a human bat.
Ooh. Good shout, Colin.
Rowan sent into cave. Tells us one room, some people.
One room, some people, and what he describes as human bat. And Elora, you can make me a wisdom check with a +2 on that one.
A wisdom check? Seriously? Oh dear. Okay. Whiz.
With a +2. Actually, he's your familiar, +4.
Right. Wisdom. +4. 13. That's 17 all in.
Yeah, okay. When he says human bat, you get the feeling that he doesn't mean human bat in sense of like it's a vampire man bat kind of thing. You just get this feeling from him, knowing Rowan and knowing how he kind of describes things. When he says human bat, you're not really sure it means what you think it means.
It's a man dressed up as a cricket bat.
It could be, yes.
Fancy dress party going on down there.
Oh God.
Pinata.
After hours.
You go in there and you'll find
one of those special
God,
clubs,
what's
isn't it?
YMCA.
An Indian chief and a police officer.
Blue Oyster Bar in a cave. Okay, thanks, Rowan. A human bat? Okay. Look, just stick by me for now. Bear with me. Hang on. Guys,
Yeah.
apparently there's... Oh, did that... Oh, yeah. Would they have understood this as well, or do I really...
He speaks. He
Yeah, I
speaks
think
common,
so.
doesn't he? He actually
Yeah.
speaks to you, doesn't he? Yeah. Actually, has Rowan got a performance check on there?
He probably has. Let me get...
Has
let me get
Rowan
his-
got
Let me get
performance?
his stats. Hang on. Just need to find his sheet. Rowan. No, he hasn't.
Right, make me a d20 with a charisma check for Rowan from Rowan's scores.
D20 with a charisma, right? Okay. That's a whole 7 from Rowan.
Yeah, Rowan does, as you say, human bat. He makes a very, very odd kind of motion, and you would say he's probably trying to imitate. And his little kind of wings, he kind of folds them so they're on his tubby kind of waist. And as he's hung there, he just kind of sticks his tongue out and just kind of makes that kind of motion while hanging upside down.
Okay, Rowan. Thanks for that. Just stay by me.
By the way, you can play charades with your bat at any time you
I can
please.
place my what?
So we were all just sat there doing that, then trying to figure out what he was doing.
Kind of like a, you know, you see that kind of cartoon dead people like kind of tongue stuck out to one side and eyes like scrunched shut. That's the kind of face he makes. But yes, if you ever want to play charades with your bat, you are more than welcome to play charades with your bat.
Okay.
Maybe that way he will get better.
Maybe. Okay. Maybe that's maybe going to be my communication work with him. I don't know.
5 charades.
Yeah. Play charades. See if I can understand him better. I need to read that book. Okay. Alora's going to look to the others and just place both of her palms upwards, shrug her shoulders, and just wave her arms slightly in gesticulation, kind of like make of that what you will.
Well, either he's a vampire, which doesn't seem that way, or he might be injured. And now it might be using him as a pinata type thing. And then, you know, he's injured.
I can just see Q in it in him. You will break. What are you?
What's inside?
What goodies have you got? Okay, so how do you want to play this?
Oh dear.
I think we're going to have to go in at some point.
Okay, so what cover can we see across this clearing? Is there any cover outside the mouth of the cave? What
No.
time of day is it? We set off at midday, didn't we? So it's been a couple of hours, so it's
It's about 3 o'clock.
Do you want to wait until dark?
It'd be dark in there anyway, I suppose.
Yeah, I just meant, but there's nothing moving outside the front of the cave. Do you want to try and sneak up to the cave front?
Yeah, just go over to the cave front and go in.
Everyone can make me a listen check.
That's a 17 all in from Alora.
20 all in for Gwyn.
15 all in for Ogvar.
Okay. So who was the lowest? Was it at 11?
Nah,
You were the
15 for Ogvar was the lowest, I believe.
Okay, 15's the lowest. You all hear a very faint cry. And it sounds like a male voice. A young boy, perhaps. The cry of Ivona!
Alora's gonna look at the other two, point to her ear, point to the cave, and say, "Did you hear that?"
Ogvar just nods. Yes.
Yes.
So the brother is in the cave, right?
Could well be Bradley.
Bradley?
Brady.
Who's Bradley?
Brady.
Huh?
Brady. Yeah, Brady. Right. We've got to go in there. We've got no choice. We must do this. Well, I'm not leaving him in there. I'm sure you're not.
No, quite not at all. Can we move up to the edge of the cave and sort of just not like stand in front of the mouth, but just stand to the side?
Yeah, you can. Yep, you can move. You move through the clearing, and again, you can see traces of Ivona's kind of flight, toe marks in the dirt, kind of thing. And yeah, you can move to the cave entrance. You can't really see anything in there. It looks pitch black.
Okay.
Alora would like to share a spell with Rowan.
Okay.
She would like to share Ray of Flame
Right.
and make sure that he is back with her.
Yep. Okay.
So she's going to turn, she's going to lay her hands on him and say, Rowan, I'm going to give you something now. I'm going to give you a spell.
Mead.
No, I tell you what, Rowan, I will give you mead later if you look after this spell and deliver this for me and get this right. We need to come to an understanding, and I need you to help me now. I need you. We need you. There are people that need help.
He puffs out his little bat chest in this very prideful, and he's got this little kind of orangey tuft on the front of his chest, like a little bib, and he puffs it out.
Would Kewin and Ogvar hear this? They're talking to Rowan. I'd
Yes.
go, when we get to the next inn, Rowan, I'll buy you a mead just for you.
Everybody likes you, Rowan, but we need you to step up. We need you to be part of the team.
Okay, you're giving a
A bit of bat therapy.
bat.
Yeah, well, we've got to start somewhere with him, haven't we?
Okay, he's on a sabbatical.
Oh, dear.
Um,
So she's going to imbue him, and as she touches him, there's a glow. She's imbuing him with Ray of Flame to level 1 spell.
Okay, so you imbue your bat with the spell. It's now a magically charged mead-fueled bat.
Good mix, isn't it?
Righty-ho,
Mead
so
and
what are
flame.
you all
It's
doing?
Alcohol and flame.
Right, Kewin's going to turn to Ogvar and Alora and say, right, how about this? You can see in the dark, your dark vision.
I can.
Ogvar, if you take the dark potion, you cast light on the end of my sword. I'll go further ahead, and you stay in the wings in the dark, and you'll be able to see because you're long range. And I can take the brunt. And if the light does go out, I can use my little thing, and I'll be able to see in the dark as well.
Well, unless there's magical darkness cast, the light will not go out. What would you like me to cast it on?
At the end of me sword.
Right. Alora will cast light. Alora will cast light on his sword tip.
Okay.
Children. I don't know who's worse, the bat or those two. Right, she's cast light on the tip of
casts light on Kewin's sword tip.
So, come on, what you doing?
Right. Alora's going to start moving across the open space. But she's going to move at speed. How far is it to the cave?
Ogvar's already there.
Oh,
You're
sorry, I'm
already
sorry.
the
Okay, I didn't realise we'd already gone that far.
Right, so Kewin's going to start going in the cave.
Yep, right.
Ogvar just has a quick glug of the old potion and he's ready to go.
How does that taste?
Like licorice.
Like licorice.
Oh,
It's not that
I
bad.
wish I'd have kept it myself then.
Worse,
I
couldn't
like
it?
licorice.
Right, let's go. So Alora's going to hug one wall.
Okay.
So Alora will go to the left-hand wall.
Well, yeah. I
I'm
mean,
going to literally hug the wall. Oh, I love you, wall.
I've heard of tree huggers, but
yeah.
okay. So you make your way down into the cave. The cave drops down quite steeply, and it's very kind of like a shingly, kind of rocky opening. And it is about like a 45-degree angle, well, probably not 45, maybe about a 35-degree angle down into this cave. So you walk down, and it's quite narrow, and then it begins to open up. So, Kewin, you have light on your sword, Ogvar, you have dark vision, and Alora, you have dark vision as well. As you get to the bottom of this passageway, you see this room begins to open up. And the best way that I could describe it, it looks like a piece of bread.
Right.
Okay? It's kind of like a rectangular shape with like a bit of a rounded kind of mushroomy top on it. Not like massively curved, but it's just like it's got that kind of slight curvature on the top of the room. It's a bit like a piece of bread. And as you look into the room, you see either side of you there are two big stone blocks, and these blocks have got kind of they have what you would say is, just trying to find the best way to describe it, they're about 6 foot long and about 2 foot deep and probably about less than a foot high slots, and you can see inside these slots wrapped bodies. And all of you can make me a spot check, please.
Hold on, catch it with notes.
Oh, that bounced off a 20.
Spot check, was it?
Yeah, that's a 7 all in from Alora.
Yep. 7 all in.
That's spot check. 20, natural 20 plus 5.
Oh, nice.
Oh, bloody hell.
Nice.
Ogvar?
28.
Still beats me.
Yeah. Okay. So Kieran and Ogvar, you can see, and Kieran, you recognise these. I mean, you all recognise them. You can see the symbol of Avacyn.
Ooh.
Kind of carved, and Ogvar, you recognise this carving. It's obviously been carved by a proper stonemason. Carved like decorative scroll work into these, by where these bodies are.
What, into the stone?
Just it kind of into the stone, yeah. No, into the stone. Around where these bodies are, these openings for the bodies. And Kieran, you would recognise this as possibly what is known as a lost catacomb. So, within the church, there are, across Innistrad, catacombs all over the place where people have buried their dead. And usually these are really, really old and they've been just kind of forgotten about and fallen into disrepair. When the church finds these, they tend to collapse them in, seal them off. There are still an untold amount of these which are just scattered across the place, which nobody has any mapped location for. So this is clearly an old catacomb where parishioners or, members of the church would be buried. So these bodies are most likely, you can see in here, are most likely bodies of worshippers of Avacyn who've been laid to rest peacefully in this catacomb. But as you all enter into here, and this is something which you would have noticed before you even got in there, there is the strong stench of fish.
Sorry, can I just ask, these stone blocks, 6 foot by 2 foot by 1 foot, are they like
No. The blocks aren't 6 foot by 2 foot by 1 foot. On each side, there are big stone blocks with holes carved into them 6 foot by 2 foot by 1 foot.
Right.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So it's like stacked. It's where bodies have been put in. They've been wrapped and they've been put into these stone slots.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. But this smell, you can smell this very strong, pungent scent of what Ivona described as fish. You all would recognise more as the scent of blood. This kind of iron, fishy tang in the air of kind of vast quantities of blood. And looking ahead of you, you can see, all of you, beyond, as you enter into this main body of the room, you pass by these 2 stone blocks with the rows of wrapped bodies. As you enter into the main body of this room, you've probably got about 30 foot to the top of this, to the other end of this room. And on each side of you, there are cages made of lashed together wood. In the cages, you can see corpses. These people are clearly dead. Blood pools in the ground, and they vary in stage of kind of. They vary in stages. There are some which are clearly very, very old, dried up husks. Some of them look a little fresher, but all of them look pale as if the blood has been drained out of them before they died. You hear a sniffling in the room, in the one of the cages towards the back left, and you hear the quiet sobs of a child, of who you can only assume is Brady. You also hear a low, raspy, rattling cough coming from the same direction, as you can all see a figure in towards the back corner of the room. But the one thing that catches your attention, directly ahead of you, at the top of this room, there is an altar. You would all assume this is obviously this being a burial site, a catacomb for the worshippers of Avacyn. This would be an altar where, there would be scriptures or offerings placed. Hanging from an iron hook embedded in the ceiling, strung up by his legs, a figure hangs. You can see he's still breathing. You can make out the shallow rise and fall of his chest. But this figure is hanging, slowly turning from the ceiling. He seems to be quite a tall man. He has a vast quantity of shaggy black hair, which is extremely unkempt and dishevelled, and it hangs down and shrouds his face, like trailing over the top of this stone altar as he just hangs there. And who is in the middle? Ogvar, you in the middle?
No, Kieran would be.
Kieran was first, and then Alora and Ogvar were off to the sides equally behind him.
Yeah, Laura was to the left-hand side, which I assume Ogvar would have been to the right.
Oh, excellent. Well done, Ogvar. You've offered yourself up. Okay, so, let's see.
What?
16 to hit you, Ogvar.
Does not hit.
Okay. As from slightly behind you, in one of the cage closest to this stone block on the right, a tall figure emerges, hissing and spitting as its one hand swipes towards you, Ogvar, and you're able to dance away as it misses. And everyone, roll me initiative.
Here goes nothing. Initiative. That's a 16 all in from Laura.
16 from Ogvar.
10 for Kieran.
Okay, Ogvar or Laura, who's got the highest dex
I
score?
think it's Alora.
I've got a +4.
I got +3, yeah.
Okay. So, Elora, top of the round. As you all turn to look at this creature, which is obviously just taken a swipe at Ogvar, you can all see it stands at roughly 6 foot tall. And it is dressed in what you would assume is once noble clothing. You can imagine it was once a resplendent doublet with some beautiful trousers, boots polished to a high shine, but time and use has worn them away. The doublet is ripped from wrist to shoulder, hanging with just a thin strip of fabric kind of bagging down. It's dirtied, it's encrusted with God knows what substances, most likely blood, you would say. The trousers, they are worn, they're ragged, the boots are practically falling off. And this creature, it looks very noble, very regal. You can make out high cheekbones, a strong, straight nose, a defined jawline, and a mouth dominated with a row of jagged teeth.
Nice.
Laura, you're up.
Okay, she is going to attempt to cast scorching... Oh, hang on, I haven't rolled initiative for Rowan. Is he going after me or before me?
He will go after you.
I think she will cast Scorching Ray.
Okay.
So she's got a roll to hit. How far away is this person from me?
It's probably about 10 foot away.
10 foot, right? Okay. Yeah, she's going to. She's going to back off very slightly. First of all, she's going to move backwards very slightly. Say, about 10 foot.
Yep. Okay.
Stay. She's going to stay by the wall. Stay by the left-hand wall and back up by about 10 foot. She's then going to cast Scorching Ray. So it's a roll to hit, which is
Roll to hit then.
fuck's sake. That is a natural 1 plus 8.
Yep. No. You go to cast this spell, and it something's perhaps gone wrong with your hand movements, with your enchantments. You feel the spell begin to take, then flicker and die, burning a spell slot.
Tremendous.
Okay.
Way to go.
So, what are you doing? Come on, quick fire.
I can't. Can I get Rowan to actually cast the
Yes,
spell?
Rowan moves independently.
Oh, okay.
Yep, you can tell him to do it.
So it doesn't burn. It doesn't require me to use the spell slot for him because I've just cast this round. Does it?
No, so you've already imbued him with the spell. You've already used the spell slot to imbue him with the spell.
Okay, fine. In that case, Allura will whisper, Rowan, I need you to just take a fleeting touch on that person there. I want you to touch him fleetingly and then leave.
Okay, so make me a touch attack for Rowan.
That's an 11 plus 4, so that's a 15 from Rowan.
You know what?
What?
You owe your bat a drink of mead because he's just made it.
So he...
Okay, so roll the spell up. Roll the damage to the spell.
The damage for the spell will be... There's also a reflex save of 17, or it catches fire.
Reflex, so DC.
Yeah, so you need to do reflex.
Okay, so it's a DC 17 reflex, was that?
Yeah, do a reflex save with DC 17.
With a 19, it will make the save.
Okay, that's fine. So it doesn't catch fire for an extra 1d6 per round. That's 7.
7 points of
7
damage.
points of damage. It's not huge.
Nice. Okay. Yep. Okay. Is that the end of your turn?
Yes. Does he get away, or does he?
Yes. Rowan will be able to flit away.
Okay. So there's no attack of
He will
opportunity.
flit away. No, he will flit away, quite pleased with himself, going mead.
Yeah, Allura will just beckon him to come back to her.
Okay. So next up, Ogvar.
Okay, so I assume I've just been struck or attempted to be struck at. Am I far enough away to get a shot off with my bow, or am I face to face?
You are 5 feet within it.
So can I use my bow or not?
No, not without incurring an attack of opportunity.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do it anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Remember, you can use your Wanderer's Ward as well at any time you so wish as a reaction.
Okay, yeah. So
Okay.
yeah. So I'd like to shoot my bow from where I am.
Okay, with a 7, it's not going to make the attack of opportunity, so roll to hit.
Okay. That is going to be on the first one. That is going to be a 24.
That will hit, yes.
Yeah. And is this by any chance undead or human?
Yes, it is.
Which one would that be?
Undead.
Undead. Okay, brilliant. So that will be 4 plus 4 plus 2. 10 points of damage. Please.
10 points of damage, nice. Okay.
And can I roll to it?
Are you doing a second?
Yes, please.
Yep, sure thing.
15 to hit, sorry.
Will just hit, yes.
Okay, brilliant.
Roll your damage.
Okay. And that will be same again. That's a 4 and a 4 and a 2. Yes, that's another 10 points of damage, please.
Wowzers. Okay. So, next up is... Are you doing anything else, Ogvar?
The only thing I would like to do... Oh, can I use my translocation anklet to move 10 feet back?
Yes, you may.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so you leave its range, provoking no attack of opportunity.
Excellent.
Okay, so the creature. There we go. Okay. It turns its eyes to you, Ogvar, as you relocate.
Okay.
Make me a will save, please.
Will save. That is going to be a 11.
Wow. Okay, so Ogvar, as you make eye contact with this creature, you feel almost a disgusting, filthy probe into your mind, almost as if claws have seized your consciousness, and you are left standing dumbstruck under the creature's control.
In response to Ivona's plea, an impassioned Ogvar, Kewin and Alora set out to probe the problem at hand, whilst Esther elected to wait with the wagon and their young encumbrance. With the steeds saddled and everyone seated, moving off proved a tricky affair for our paladin, who, having virtually no horsemanship skills, was promptly pitched and ditched in the dirt. Not one to be beaten, bravely dusting himself down and determined to master his mount, he boarded the beast once more. After tracing Ivona's trail through the trees, Murdoch's message proved correct as a clearing with a cave entrance came into view. Rowan was the obvious choice to reconnoitre the cavern, whilst our companions remained concealed in the copse awaiting a suitably helpful sit-rep. As infiltration mode is invoked, Ogvar goes dark as a potion is presented, whilst Kewin proudly sports himself a shiny sword. The pungent air is less than pleasant, but it is less abhorrent than the abject horrors that our heroes find deep in the darkness of what can only be described as a dungeon. Hey, you made it this far, so lend us your ears for a moment longer if you will. Firstly, we are most humbled that you are enjoying our yarn, and the crew thank you from the bottom of their hearts for your patronage. Producing this podcast is incredibly hard work, and as such, if you would like to support us, there are a few ways in which you could really make a difference. Sharing links to friends and family helps to spread the word so others like you can find us, and in turn they too can enjoy the show. Equally helpful is leaving a 5-star review on Spotify and any other streaming services, which will help us immensely. Or, if you feel you could go that extra mile and contribute a few coppers to keep our creative juices flowing, you can hop on over to our Buy Me a Coffee page or drop us an email. We would all be immensely grateful for your support in any form. Lastly, we invite you to visit our website, where you will find information on our campaign from backstories to settings. Join our Facebook group or follow us on Twitter. All the links are in our episode bios. Don't forget to smash the subscribe and download buttons so you never miss the next episode. See you all again next week, folks.